Okay. All right. Hello, folks. We are moving this over to Zoom because, of course, Blog Talk Radio again has another problem, which is finding me extremely frustrated. But I'm just so very, very grateful that Tara took the time today to sit down and talk with me on Zoom. I want to do a couple really super fast announcements because I'm not on radio this week anymore. Want to remind everybody that Bedford Falls Film Festival is both live and virtual. That's my film festival with Michael. That's happening on May 8th now, which is Mother's Day weekend. Yay! So I get to celebrate Mother's Day with a whole bunch of other moms. It's taking place in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. So go ahead to the website, which is bedfordfallsfilmfestival.weebly.com, and check that out. And of course, Art is Alive, my main festival, is taking submissions up until June. So again, shorts and features up to 90 minutes, web and TV series up to 60 minutes, and screenplays up to 110 pages. Art is Alive Film Festival.weebly.com. And yes, I am on the air, God willing, next Monday and Tuesday. And God willing, we get our work done. We'll be on a plane Wednesday and I'll be on vacation. Yay, in Florida. I'm praying. I'm not sure that's going to happen yet. I'll find out today. So without further ado, I'm going to stop talking. We're going to start talking to Tara. My first question to you, of course, is because I have to ask, I know where you live. Talk to us a bit about how the conditions are there in terms of the current crisis, what's going on, and how are you managing? Because I know you're a very spiritual person, but outside of that, you're still a regular person. So how are you holding up?
Things here in California are finally beginning to open up with regard to COVID. You can tell that, society in general, you have two different kind of groups. You've got people that are still terrified, that still are wearing masks and still are very, I guess you could say, serious about the conditions. And then you've got another group of people that are totally over it and, are just, of course, still wanting to be respectful of others, but have just had enough. We've missed living life on the norm. And so you've got just these two groups. But as far as with Bless and things moving ahead, the mission doesn't stop. And no matter what the conditions of the world are, the assignment doesn't end until it's completed. So for me, we just keep forging ahead. And you can change a life no matter what is happening in the world, no matter if there is social distancing or any of that. We have the ability from our very own homes to make a difference in people's lives. And so I'm happy to see our state kind of loosening up a little bit and things reopening. But of course, we want people to be well and to be safe.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Have you found any challenges for you, either personal, outside of the personal thing, because I guess that's kind of obvious, but professionally, like you mentioned, your job continues on all the time. But have you found that it's harder to reach people? Have you found that just in general, I feel like a lot of people are just very discouraged, very down. Their souls are very, very depressed, for lack of a better term. Does that find you in a better or a literally more difficult position in terms of trying to get your message out there because some people just can't hear right now?
I think it's actually better because when you get in these positions where you are scared and where you are in a lower frame of mind, you're hungry for kindness. You're hungry for joy and for like this lightheartedness, and Bless is all about that. And the thing is that it's actually provided these opportunities just through the messaging platform of Bless to be available for people no matter what need they share. I personally will reach out to people just to check in on them. And so it's kind of interesting because it just shows you how hungry humanity is for humanity. We really do need each other. And so when I do that, even if I can't meet their specific need, just checking in, it's just, when you get these messages back from people where they're just so blessed that I even reached out to see how they were doing, it just shows you the power behind this. So it's just been a good thing in a way, because I think what's happening with all the distancing and these different things is just helping people to realize more and more how much we really do need each other, that we are stronger together, we are better together. And, helping one another is really what it's all about. I call it the ultimate bad day cure. If you can reach out and help somebody else, like, it turns everything around in your day. And, even looking at the challenges we've had with doing this broadcast, right? There are
right?
some serious challenges. Well, there were options on how to handle such a situation, right?
Mhm.
And so for me, my whole goal was like, oh my gosh, Cindy is going through it already. She doesn't need like this, she doesn't need more from me, because I'm always about making it easier and lighter for people. And
Sure.
I think you find it refreshing, right? To say, oh my gosh, here's someone that's a little bit more pliable, that's not like getting all like anxious or upset even about this situation. And so that's the goal. And when you run into people like that, it really is a breath of fresh air.
Oh, no kidding, without a doubt, absolutely. So before we get into, of course, talking about Bless app, which is your creation, I want to talk a bit about you, because obviously if there wasn't a you, there wouldn't be the app, of course. Now, talk to me a bit about yourself. First of all, I have to ask you this question. This is going to be very random, but I'm like, okay, what's up with the Clubhouse thing? Because I saw you did an interview recently on Clubhouse, and I've been dying to ask someone. So you're here right now, so let's ask you, what is this Clubhouse thing? It's like this new platform that just everybody's so thrilled and excited about. So why be on Clubhouse? What the heck is this?
Yeah, Clubhouse is interesting. That's kind of like the way I like to put it. But it's just audio only, where you jump into these different rooms and you are talking and other people are listening, and you bring other people up on stage for them to speak if you like to. And
Huh.
people come into your rooms to hear different topics. So for a short time, we were doing a world changers, culture cultivators Clubhouse room.
Mhm.
And I think it's a really cool idea. My experience was is I didn't have enough people coming into my room. And so I find a lot more success with doing things like this, and even doing a Facebook Live, that kind of thing. But people are definitely getting involved in Clubhouse and its capabilities. It's cool. The one thing that I don't personally care for is you can watch people come into your room, and then you can watch them leave your room in the middle of while you're talking.
Oh
And that
gosh.
always like makes me feel like, is it something
Right.
I said or didn't say? And so that aspect of it, I personally do not care for, because nobody needs discouragement like that, right? You don't need
Right.
people, and for whatever reason, you just don't like, I don't need to know that you were there and left. That's
Right.
just my own opinion. But I
Oh
know a lot
gosh.
of people have success with really building up these rooms and interacting with one another through just voice. So you don't get to see each other at all other than your profile picture. And
Gotcha.
anyway, so yeah, it's cool, but I just am still really honestly getting used to it, and not sure that I'm that fond of it like some other people are.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. Yeah, because people keep pestering me about it. I'm like, what? Huh? What is this? What's going on? So I'm like, now you've given me the lowdown. Yeah, but no, thank you. I have to ask this. I see that you took a trip to Germany. I have not been out of the country except for Jamaica. So I'm curious to ask what that experience was like, because it wasn't that
Actually,
long ago,
maybe it
right?
was my mom, because I've never been to Germany.
Oh no.
Or
See,
maybe it
this
was
is
somebody else. I'm not
okay.
really
So
sure.
this is what, because I'm looking at my notes right now and it says she visited Germany last year. And I would swear that's off your Facebook page, because I like to go and I like to take a peek at what you did before. Okay. So we're just going to slip over that one, because I don't know how I got that. That's usually so
But
bizarre. I'm
my
like,
mom was born there. I don't know if, but I don't know. So
all right. Well, so much for that one. Okay, great. So now, as a California person, one of the things, and I haven't been there that often, I'm due to go back there soon again, as a matter of fact. So one of the things that I noticed is depending on the area that you're in California, I'm going to imagine that you must be either extremely laid back, because I get the sense that Californians are just very laid back, but then you have a whole nother group of people on the other end that are Hollywood like, where it's like you're a bother to be there. I'm more of an East Coaster, so I'm like, okay, we kind of mesh, but we don't. So talk to me a bit about, spending your spare time there. And again, does it bring a challenge? Because I'm going to guess there's a whole half of the people in the city that are like, blessing what? They're busy doing this, that, and the other thing. You know what I'm saying?
yes. Let's see. Well, I live in Southern California, so it's more of the faster paced way of life. I grew up
Yep.
in Northern California, where it was more laid back country. So I've experienced both ends of the spectrum. I appreciate the opportunity that comes with living in Southern California. Although with COVID, we've been so restricted that for the past year plus, things have been really limited as far as like your extracurricular activities throughout the city, so, and even the county and the state. So as far as the blessing aspect of it, you've got I think humanity in general has to be retrained. And that's part of the work that we're doing, because people need to remember that if you could just take one moment to look outside of yourself and everything that you have going on, to do something for someone else, no matter how big or small it is, that we're talking about changing lives and literally impacting generations. And so this is different. This is a different way of thinking than a lot of people are used to, because we've become such a selfish society. Let's just be realistic, right? We are.
Yes.
Me, my four, and no more, right? Well, Bless challenges you to really rethink the way you do things and interact with people, because again, we do need each other, and we do need interactions with people without the fine print, without the strings attached. And that's
Yes.
what Bless is. So, with what we're doing, we're retraining humanity on a couple of different levels, which are really important. One is to let people know it's okay to share a need, no matter where you're at in life, whether you're doing great or whether you're having a hard time. We all have needs, and it's okay to share those. And Bless is a pure platform by which to do it. So giving people that permission is powerful, and helping them to understand you can do it without judgment on Bless is a big deal. But we're adding in an accountability aspect of sharing needs that you're not going to see on other platforms, because we want people's lives to be better no matter what level they're at. I mean, whether you're doing great and you've had the best day ever, you could still have a better day. And so it's our goal to really help people be better on the daily. And so we've got a couple of things in place. One is called Vouch for Me on Bless. It's super important, because Vouch for Me helps people know you can be trusted. So that offers a level of accountability that you don't find anywhere, right? And then the other part of it is we're working now, and I know we're not supposed to be really getting into, but I can't help but talk about it.
It's fine. Go right ahead.
We're getting into Bless ambassadors, which are people that are like me. So you're saying, in Southern California, do you have people, that really want to bless and give back? There are plenty of people that want to help other people, and, that have needs of their own. So these Bless ambassadors are people like me that want to help cultivate this culture through the app. So if we see people that are just sharing needs all the time and being blessed, but they're not giving back, we're encouraging people to think, what do you have that you can give and not get rid of? We're changing that mentality, because we're also a society that likes to purge and get rid of, but we like to teach people to give on purpose, with purpose, to change lives and impact generations. I mean, there's so much more power when you set out to give this way than just to get rid of things. So these are the ways that we're really working to cultivate a culture to retrain humanity. And I say retrain because this is interwoven on the inside of each one of us. If we think about it, it's deep down in there, but a lot of us have just gotten too busy with what we need to do. We've forgotten. So we're retraining. We're helping people to remember, like, look, this is a wonderful way of living that not only changes your life, but now you're impacting other people to affect this change in the world that we all really desire. So how can you lose, right? And especially through a pure platform with no ads. That's a gift for all humanity. I mean, it sounds too good to be true, I know, but it's the purest thing you'll find out there. And it is true. No tricks, gimmicks, nothing like that. This app is for people, not to steal from people or use people to benefit from them.
Sure. And you can see, folks, just by looking at her, that's how you can tell you're doing your passion. I always say that to people: when you feel that tingle or you get so excited about something that you want to talk about it, as you can see, case in point here. I have to ask this question. I was researching. I saw you went to a Santa Rosa college, and I know that your background is in general education as well as an associate of the arts. So I was curious to ask you about the arts component, meaning, do you ever get a chance to do something artistic? Not that this app can't be something of art, so to speak, but do you ever utilize that part of your life ever?
I actually, when I was at Santa Rosa Junior College, I thought for a moment, I want to be an artist when I grow up. This is what, like, as a kid,
Sure.
I had this kind of leaning toward that. Then I went to the junior college and I found, like, dude, like, what am I gonna do here? Like, I mean, it was almost like an epic fail in a sense. Like, I thought, okay, I'm doing junior college because this is one of those box things that you're required to kind of do as you go through life, right? You know, these
Okay.
expectations that people have on you. So I did it, and I graduated with an associate's degree in general education, which translates to I have no clue what I want to do. At least for me. And
Sure.
I had taken some graphic design, different types of courses like that while I was there, but couldn't see this becoming anything for me. But what's happened now with Bless, you know, all of the user interface of the app I designed. So, in all of my social media posts and different things like that, I am being able to utilize that creative ability that I have, and even that artistic ability in ways that I hadn't been able to use for many years. So I'm grateful that that's come into play a little bit more with Bless.
Oh, sure. Now, of course, to those that don't know, you just recently started this because I know it was 2018. Tell the folks a little bit about before you became the founder of this wonderful platform. What were you doing with your life from a professional standpoint?
Sure. So right before Bless, I mean, kind of like growing up and throughout my years, I didn't hold, I mean, I'm a loyalist, so I'm not going to just go job hopping. You know, I was one
Sure.
that, like, you know, if I'm supposed to be there, I am there. And
Sure.
until I die, you know, I'll be there. And so I'd held many different positions though throughout the course of my life, but nothing that really felt satisfying. I was in management. My last job, I was an operations manager for a company that manufactures feed ingredients for animal feed. Totally random, wild, you know, not related to anything. It was just a position that I held that taught me a ton. And I found after leaving that it was actually a lot of preparation for where I'm at today. So I just want to encourage people that, you know, don't despise kind of like the small beginnings or these positions that might not make any sense. They're actually building something in you that you need to get you where you're headed. And I've realized that for all the positions that I've held, they all had a part to play in making me who I am. So I was operations manager. I ended up doing sales, which I had never done before. I was doing human resources. I was wearing every hat essentially as
Sure.
the operations manager of this company. And it was a great job. You know, I was successful. I was making six figures, more money than I had ever made, but just really felt like, gosh, there just has to be something more. And I left that, you know, after kind of like figuring out through a course of events that Bless was my passion. Bless is my assignment, and being the chief blesser of Bless is what I am called to do. And that humanity literally is waiting for me to step into this so that they can reap the benefits of it. And it's true for everyone out there. You have a passion, you have a gift, you have a talent on the inside, and humanity is waiting for you to step into that. We need that gift from you. And so I just want to encourage you, you know, I started with baby steps and am still doing baby steps on the daily to get to where I can see this is headed. It requires that, you know, it never comes in leaps. It doesn't. It takes little steps, and I
Sure.
like to call them tactical steps. You know, they're purposeful to get me where I'm headed. I don't fill my calendar to fill my calendar. Everything is with purpose, and it's tactical to get me to the end result.
Sure, you betcha. Now, some might say, of course, that you have been given a task from God, so to speak, and of course that would be all very consuming. And I know because I run multiple businesses myself. So, in like the 4 minutes of time where you're alone or have something to do, or where you could say, "God, I want to do something fun." So, what does your downtime look like, if there's any, by the way? Like, what exactly would we find you doing?
You know, mainly just relaxing at this point. I really do try to take some time just to decompress. And although Bless is always on my mind, how I can help people always tends to be there. Even if I'm watching
Sure.
TV, some kind of thought comes. But, you know, relaxing is a big one, especially since all other freedoms, in a sense, have been taken away. Like, we can't go to the movies, we can't
Oh,
do you know, we were going to Disneyland. We haven't been able to do that. So all of those
sure.
kind of like fun, simple things we haven't been able to do. I started to learn the piano, for a period of time, which was excellent. But I have become so busy that when I do have that free time, I feel too tired to focus on that right now.
Right.
So I want to pick it back up though. So that was a cool thing that I've always had a desire to want to learn how to play the piano. And again, I've started it, but I've kind of let it drop for it's been a few months now. So yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I want to ask about what was the reasoning behind picking doing a mobile app versus, let's just say, okay, we'll leave it on the website, etc. Was there some sort of additional reason for the application and wanting to use it that route?
Sure. I think it's really just the portability. I think it's the ease of having it on a device that's in your hand, no matter where you're at, not being tied down to the desktop. Now, we have plans to put Bless on the desktop because we don't want any household to be without access to this tool. So that'll be in the works. It's on the to-do list, but the list is long. So it's there. It's definitely there for future. We want that to be available. But I thought just ease of access, being able to have it available at your fingertips anytime, wherever you're at, to see where needs are at, or share a need of your own, or offer help to people, why not in an app?
Absolutely, that makes sense. One of the first things I had thought about, of course, was you in terms of partnering, because of course I've seen you do some things, but I don't know that I found anything that specifically said, to me, logically, it would seem as though you would align yourself with various churches, because this falls right along that vernacular. Is that one of the things that you intend to do over the future? More partnerships and things of that sort where people are working in your same vein?
Really, because Bless is for all humanity, it's not limited to churches, although churches are welcome to utilize this tool because it can be so powerful. But I mean, if you think about it, any group, any large group that has people with needs, or people that want to help, qualify for utilizing Bless. And we do have groups on Bless where you can create a private or public group on Bless. But if you can imagine the power of it working in a church, let's say, just for example, a lot of times if there's needs in the church, that burden falls on the church or the pastors to try to make that need happen, right? To meet that need. But if you're using Bless and you've got your whole congregation or your membership that's a part of a group on Bless, and they're sharing with one another, now all of a sudden you find that, oh my gosh, that person I was sitting next to needs a refrigerator. I happen to have one. Oh, okay, let me bless them with that. So this can work in a women's group. This can work in anything that you have going on where you come together with people. It's so amazing.
Look at that.
We're not just looking to align and partner with churches. We're also currently working on what we'll call community resources. So it's any for-profit business, any nonprofit that offers free services to the community, whether they do some kind of a food giveaway, whether they have clothing available for people, whether they're offering mental health services for free. These life coaches out there that offer free courses. Anyone offering something free to the community can apply to be a part of community resources on Bless. Even currently now today, we're building the database, and eventually we will be integrating that into the app so that people can literally search, hey, I need, personal development courses. Let me look and see what's available in my community or beyond, because now with online, you can offer a free course for personal development from across the planet, right? So anyway, that's all something that is also available for businesses and organizations to partner with Bless and be a part of it for free. Why? Because we want to help people, and you're helping and reaching out to the community by offering these free services. So we want to give you more exposure and bless you because you're blessing the community. So, I mean, everyone needs to know about it. If there's a way that you help, then we want to help you get the word across and let other people know that these resources are available.
Gotcha. The other thing that came to mind, of course, and I'm sure that you've thought of this already, but have you been partnering or would you partner per se? Clearly, one of the biggest issues we have nowadays is homelessness, of course. You've got a huge generation of homeless people out there from all different states. So is that something that's workable through what you do?
Absolutely. You know, it really spans the spectrum, right? When we think of need, I think we've gotten in a good habit of immediately thinking homeless. And so we're actually trying to break that in a sense, because we want humanity to realize, again, it doesn't matter what level you're at. You know, you might be homeless, but you might be really well off. We both have needs. Okay. We all experience this on some level. So we want, it can help the homeless, absolutely. And we'll partner, and have already partnered with different organizations that offer food outreaches to specifically to the homeless. So yes, it'll cover that. And the important part of it, and where it can really help the homeless if they want to be helped, is that we are doing this retraining of humanity. And in the midst of your need, what do you have to give? I know you're homeless, right? And you think you have nothing, but you could offer a listening ear.
Yes.
Right? You could offer a helping hand. And so this is where we want to see that. We don't want to see them stay homeless. We don't want to see a life be low and stay low. We want to see people come higher. So this is the other cool thing about Bless. Some people might not think it's so cool, but I think it's really cool, because again, we're putting in this accountability measure where this isn't a system to be worked. This isn't working the community to get your needs met and you're not giving anything back. We want to see your life become better. And if you don't want to do that, you won't want to be a part of Bless, because you'll find that you can't work the system like you can other ways. So absolutely, we'll help the homeless and partner with organizations that do, but we want to see lives change for the better.
Absolutely. Now, if you look, folks, you can see behind Tara, she's got share a need, of course, and meet a need. So let's say, for instance, someone wants to share a need. Is there a way for them to do that anonymously, so that this way, for whatever reason, if they don't want to disclose for whatever reason, because some of us have very personal needs, is that possible?
You know, here's how that would work. And I've actually had this happen. It was one of the first needs I shared was for someone else. Because the funny thing about need is everyone has them, but some people, a lot of people don't want to share them. They've got too much pride, or maybe it's a personal thing. They just can't, they just don't want to do it. But guess what? They always share it with someone. Always. You're always going to share that need you have with some person. So if you happen to be that person and you can't meet the need, then you can ask the person, do you mind if I share your need on Bless for you, and help facilitate the meeting of that need? This was actually the first need that I shared on Bless, was for a mom that I knew. She had 4 children. I had reached out to her just to check on her. We had just launched the app. I'm like, is there anything I can help you with? And she said, you know, I've got my 4 kids, but 3 of them don't have beds to sleep on. I'm sitting here going, are you kidding? Because like, I'm thinking there's neighbors probably right next to me that have mattresses, you know, like we can get this need met. And so I asked her, do you mind if I share this? Because I knew she wasn't going to do it. You know, she wasn't going to put it on the app. And do you mind if I share it on Bless? She's like, sure, go ahead. So I did. This was when we first launched, which was March 25th, 2019. I shared this need on Bless. And within 1 week, I was delivering mattresses to this mama for her babies, so they had a place to sleep. So see, she wouldn't share it, but I shared it for her. And there is tremendous power in helping to facilitate the meeting of a need. I mean, I think it's actually almost a greater feeling that comes with that in playing the part, because now you're being that mediator, you're that middleman for people and making that happen. And so that's what I recommend. If you don't want to share it, then ask someone to share it for you. You can always reach out to Bless directly as well. Okay. And we can help and you know, kind of vet that thing and see how we can help maybe facilitate that. But as far as anonymous, no, in the sense that like you can't get on there and not share your true identity, because we're wanting
Right.
to build trust as well. So
Correct.
that would be the only way you can kind of make that happen, is if someone else shared on your behalf.
Gotcha. Okay. I just want to make that clear to the audience, of course,
Sure.
because if they're watching today and they think about this, one of the things that you mentioned on your website is that you can join different groups, of course. And of course, there's that element where you can show support for others. So talk to us a bit about how those two entities on there help people to feel good, not just about giving something or giving to meet someone else's need, but more importantly, make themselves feel better by being on the site.
Sure. Groups, I wanted to create groups on Bless because Bless was born out of my passion for helping others. I wanted people to have the opportunity to create a group that supports what they're passionate about. And the purpose behind groups is different than like groups on Facebook, because with Bless, you're able to not just connect, but now you're able to actually make an impact in each other's lives. I mean, we're taking this to a higher level, because now you're sharing needs with each other, you're offering help to one another, and you have the potential to reach out in your community and actually do more, and make a greater impact locally or even beyond. So groups have that power behind them, and they're so powerful, especially if you take advantage of a private group, because if you have a private group on Bless that you're a part of, you can actually share needs privately with just that private group or any private group you're a part of, so that the whole community isn't seeing that need, or that whole community isn't seeing that offer to help. It's only going to group members. So this is an ability to kind of gather together in a way where you're not just connected, but you're really making an impact in one another's lives. And it can be around your passion. Like, I love to give the example of a group of car guys. They just love working on cars. I can just see their garages filled with parts, right? And
Mhm.
this guy's got all these extra parts, and this guy needs these parts, but they don't know how to come together to help each other with that. Well, you could do that on Bless, Hey, I've got a ton of Ford F-150 extra parts. If you have that need, then I can meet that need, and, vice versa. And now you're taking what you're passionate about and helping each other through the passion. And you can just see how much more kindness and just, I guess, essentially love that will
Mm.
create in the world when we just do this with a heart of just wanting to bless, not with that string attached. You're just setting out to give on purpose, with purpose, to change a life. It's amazing how much power some of the material goods are that we have when we give this way.
Oh, you betcha, of course. Well, and the other thing too is, because we have to ask about this in the world of 2021, which makes me sad because, there, like you were talking about the vouching, et cetera, there's so much distrust and so much ugliness going on in the world. So what if someone comes along, and I don't know if they've asked you this question, but because this is such a place of vulnerability, walls are coming down and people are sharing things. Should they be concerned about, we're all on the internet, but is it safe? Do you know what I mean? Do you have a safeguard in place, just so that people know that what they're saying or what they're sharing is not something that's seeping out into the universe? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do understand what you're saying. It's a social media platform, essentially. So, when you share a need on Bless, when you offer help on Bless, people are able to share that further, just to let people know that this is a need if you can help. I mean, that's really the intention behind it. We want, as far as the information and the safety of the app, it's protected, just like other social media, but
Right.
anything on the web, anything on your mobile device, let's be realistic, is susceptible
Right.
to intrusion, I guess you could say. I mean, that's just the reality. Like, even our Zoom call right now, we've seen those get hacked
Right.
before.
Oh my
So,
God, yes.
I mean, this is technology we're dealing with, and it's increasing and changing on the daily. But our goal on Bless is to protect humanity. It really is our goal, and to provide this pure platform. So we have measures in place where if people come along and that may be offensive to you, or they're acting inappropriately, or they post anything inappropriately, all of that can be reported. They can be blocked through the app. And one thing about Bless that I don't talk about very often is that we do have a word filter in place. So people cannot get on there and just start
Okay.
spewing stuff. It actually blocks you from being able to include words that are inappropriate, because we want this to remain the pure platform it's designed to be. Bless is not for that kind of thing. So we do, you know, there's measures in place to deter people, the wrong people, from being there, like Vouch for Me and like the word filter. You're not going to feel comfortable, I guess you could say, using Bless when you don't have there's just an atmosphere that's set with this app that when you get on it, I think you'll find out there's a lot of peace in Bless. You know, it's quiet in there. You don't have ads coming at you. It's for a purpose. And that's
Sure.
to change lives and impact generations through the power of Bless, to be able to share your needs and offer help. And nothing really outside of that belongs.
So now I have an interesting inquiry, because this is one of the things that I thought about myself, because I've been very public about my own mental health issues over the course of time. So just so people know, for instance, if somebody, when you talk about fulfilling needs, meaning is there a point where you can't fulfill? Like, let's say, for instance, someone comes to you and says, you know what I really need is I need mental health, or I need someone who, do you know what I mean? Can people like that reach out to you, or is there a limit, so to speak, in terms of how far you can go?
No, they can absolutely reach out. In fact, I had somebody in another country share a need like that they
Okay.
literally needed psychological help. And so when I saw it, I immediately just did some research to say, okay, what direction, until we get community resources up and running and built
Right.
to the capacity that I want to see it, we'll do this kind of thing where we can research for people, because sometimes they just can't find it. When you're in a desperate state, or your mental health is waning and you need help, you can't find what you need, right? And so people can absolutely share that, and we will reach out to help them any way we can. That's the community and in humanity at large. You know, if you see that posted, I mean, for me, immediately I think, oh, how can I meet this need? And so if that means researching on the web to see if there are free services in their local community that can assist them, I'll pass that information along. I do that quite often with different needs that are shared that I don't have the capacity, and maybe the community doesn't. I mean, or maybe we're just not at that level yet with the user base to be
Okay.
able to help. I do that quite often.
Nice. Very good to hear. Yeah. Because I thought obviously we all have limits in certain things. So it's good to clarify that sort of stuff. Now, most of us have not gone through the task of being able to develop an app. And I'm also going to guess, well, is it costly, you know, as far as that stuff goes? Because I have researched and I saw, of course, that certainly people can make donations. Folks, just so you know, I saw, of course, that you have sweatshirts and the shirts and the totes for sale, obviously. But does this become a costly endeavor for you in terms of just the application itself? As I understand it, it's not that cheap to develop an app, right?
That is so true. It is not that cheap to develop an app. I mean, it's actually quite expensive. And if you knew what it takes, even once you have it developed, it's not something that ends. There are monthly costs and yearly fees, different things that you have to do to keep the app up and running. So it is not inexpensive on any level, you know, but it's paid for, and it continues to be paid for. And you know what blesses me the most is that I've been able to give this gift to humanity, no strings attached. Like, how awesome is that, to be able to say, look, I'm supplying you with a platform where you can share your needs, where you can offer help, where you can come together to help one another in every part of the world. Wow, like, I love it. I can't lose on this, Cindy, because when you plant a seed like this in the ground, the harvest is so much more great than that, whatever the financial aspect of it was. So it doesn't move me. Bless is taken care of, I'm taken care of, and I'm really grateful for that. But it is not cheap, that I will say.
Gotcha. See, note to people, because I've thought about developing an app too, and I'm like, yeah, no, I could probably pass. I can, you know, so kudos to you on that aspect of it. Another interesting question for you. I said this publicly not so long ago. I'm a true believer. I work in entertainment a lot. So oftentimes what I get is, you'll notice, you know, XYZ celebrity goes and does a big press release about how they help feed thousands of people. So it's a very public thing to share charity. I come from the opposite school, and I've been very public about saying there's lots of things that I personally do. And I ask people specifically, do not tell someone that I've done this. There are some people that believe the true act of charity is not telling anyone. It's when someone's not looking. So is it possible that people can remain anonymous on the other side of the fence, just as with sharing the need? Can they just give the need continuously without having to announce or make
Yes.
themselves public.
Yes, and one of those ways that we've worked this, because I have specific people that have operated this way. One of the ways that you can do this is by giving to Bless Supply. Because when you give to Bless Supply, Bless is a for-profit company. We make that very clear. Currently not generating a regular stream of revenue, but we've had people that have come along and been like, oh my gosh, what you are doing is amazing. What can we do to help propel the mission forward? So last year, we initialized or released Bless Supply. We got that program running where people can give via PayPal or Venmo. If you want to give another way, you can reach out to us. But people will do this. So I've had screenshots sent to me from in Bless saying, here's the need I want to bless this person with. I'm sending you money right now. And they'll send it to Bless Supply, and Bless Supply will pass it along. Last year, we also did, I had it on my heart to do a toy drive for my local community for Christmas time. I wanted to make sure that if any needs were shared on Bless for children in need of gifts, that we had the supply. And people started donating. They gave toys here, and then people started giving money monetarily through the app to help, or through Bless Supply to help us. And we were able, I think we blessed, gosh, was it 40 kids? Just me.
Oh, wow.
Me and my mom going around and delivering gifts to people in our community here. We were able to bless that many people. And this is just me doing it. So if you can imagine, we had one more or two more people. And as Bless grows and increases, wow, we're changing the world. It's already happening. So you can give that way through Bless Supply. And then also, if you bless somebody on Bless, when you reach out to them, you see their need and you reach out to them, you do so by private message, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You tap the star on their post, you send them a private message, and you can let them know when they mark their post as blessed, because what that means is their need has been met. Now they're sharing their experience so that that need goes into the blessings feed so that other people can see what's taking place. You can let them know, you don't put my name down, and you can share it anonymously that way as well, to where your name's not being on blast. For me, I think it's so important to lead by example. So I don't do this as like, oh, look at me, I'm so great. No, right. I do this is to say, look, humanity, this is what we're capable of when we tap into it. And yeah, there's a lot of power in that hidden blessing, but there's also a ton of power in showing other people, this is the life we should live on the daily.
Absolutely.
I call it the blessed life.
You
Not
betcha.
the blessed life, but the blessed life.
Absolutely.
It's so
now,
different.
If somebody is watching this right now and they're like, okay, fine, I've got a need that I need to share. So walk us through the process. Let's say someone sits down, they're like, all right, I want to share a need. Obviously, of course, I know you have to go to the app. So of course, I know that you're on Google. I know that you're on Apple and Amazon as well, correct? Those three platforms?
You can't, no, not on Amazon.
Okay.
But you can get the app for free from the
I'm telling you, I found this. It literally, and you can look online to see this. If you Google yourself, like type in Amazon and Bless app, something does come up that links the two of you. So I don't know where that came from, but that's where I got that from.
Well, I'll have to check that out.
Go ahead. All right, so let's start over. So now you go to Apple or you go to Google Play. Of course, you get the app and then obviously download the app. And then what happens?
Then you need to just sign up. You can sign up for Bless using your Facebook account if you'd like, your Google account. If you have an iPhone, you can sign up for Bless with Apple through your Apple ID, or you can sign up via email for Bless. Once you have your account ready, you tap the plus icon in the bottom in the middle to create a post. You select share a need. It'll offer a list of category icons. You pick the one that best represents what your need is about. So maybe you have a need for baby supplies for your little baby. You tap the baby supplies icon. You give it a title. You share your story. You can add photos. You can send out those vouch for me requests right there in that process. There's other ways to do that as well. And then you can share your need. It's that quick and easy and simple to share a need or offer to meet a need on Bless, either way. And then there it is. Now, the way Bless works by default is within a 50-mile radius of where you signed up for Bless. That's where people will see your need or your offer to help by default. that can be changed through filters, and you can expand that radius out so that you can see and interact with posts from around the world, which is really fun, especially as we grow. Gives everyone an opportunity to see what Bless is supposed to be doing in their local community. But people, like, I have mine expanded, so no matter where you're at, if you share a need or you offer help, I see it. I will interact with you, and I reach out all over the world to try to help people, to make sure they're the real deal too, and to train them on using Vouch for Me, because this is a new process for people. So we want everyone to utilize this so that we have this level of trust built up in the community.
Absolutely. Now, as you mentioned earlier, if you are now first starting out with the Bless ambassadors, if somebody sits down and says, you know what, let's get this going in 50 states. So you see these people start volunteering. Is there certain criteria you look for in an ambassador, or for them? Is there a review? I mean, what goes into being considered for that?
That's a wonderful question. You know, this program has not even officially been rolled out. What's happened is I've shared with people that I've seen this vision for ambassadors all throughout the world, people that are like me. They have a heart for community. They want to help people, and they just so happen to want to use Bless by which to do it. So those three things are the main part of it, you know, and if you have that desire, I have some kind of like a structure or qualifications, not so much qualifications, because I think if you're a Bless ambassador, it's already in you. I feel like it's something that should be so easy because it's already what you do on the daily. Now you just want to utilize and share this app with everyone you know. And so this is what's happened. People that are like this want to be a part. And then what we're doing is we're starting this system where they can actually earn different levels of badges to stay an ambassador, become an official ambassador, where it'll show up in the app so that when people see them, it'll just like be like, oh my gosh, this is an ambassador. This is someone that's worked through some steps and has had to utilize the app and do these different measures in order to qualify for this. So this isn't your normal, just everyday person. This is a special person, someone that knows my heart, has my heart, and wants to use Bless by which to make a difference in their community and beyond. So I'm still honestly working on, like, what is this going to look like in the future? Where are we headed with this? But I've got a group of people, 13 people right now throughout the United States.
Wow.
This happens, Cindy, no joke. Throughout the United States, I have one in India, I have one in Africa, that are Bless ambassadors and are working through the initial process to earn that beginner's badge on the app. And again, I have not officially rolled it out. I'm kind of waiting for the right moment by which to do it, but I love sharing about it, because if you have a heart like that, you just want to help people and you need a pure platform by which to do it, and you just so happen to love Bless, this is the place, you know, to be like this and to kind of help propel the mission throughout the world, because we will, regardless of the help I have. I want the help, absolutely. But regardless, Bless will be global. Every house will know it. Every house will use it. And every house will be touched by the power of Bless as we continue on. Everyone will know Bless.
Look at that. My gosh. And on top of everything she's doing already, unless I'm mistaken, I see that you're also currently a volunteer for the Women's Information Network.
Yes, I am a part of that.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So tell the folks a bit about that, because we don't want to forget to mention that, because that's important. What exactly is the Women's Information Network, and what capacity do you serve in?
Sure. It's a powerful, powerful group of women throughout the world that I really like to say are world changers. You know, what we're doing with that. Paula Fellingham is actually the head over that, a wonderful woman who lives in Utah. She actually has a heart very much like mine, but her focus isn't all humanity. It's just women. And she loves to help propel the vision and the mission of every woman that's doing something great in the world, you know, no matter what it might be. So I happen to be a part of that, being able to just let people know about how we can help them, about Bless. And so it's just kind of like a collaborative effort where we work together to influence women in a greater way, and let them know also that it's possible for you, whatever your dream is, that you can go for it and you can make it happen. So to be able to encourage people that way, to specifically women that way with this group, is a powerful thing.
How very cool is that? My gosh.
Yeah.
So My last question to you is, if I were to ask you now, if you're going to go 12 months down the road, where do you want the Bless app to be? What do you want to be doing by that point?
Well, I've got my to-do list up there. So, Bless is going to continue to grow. So as I mentioned before, we do want Bless for desktop. That's something, gosh, I hope within a year we're able to get that going. I have it on there for this year. I kind of don't think we're going to have enough time to get it done. The year's already flying by, but that's definitely one. Another thing that I see for Bless is what we call Bless supply houses. These are like warehouse type buildings throughout the world.
Nice.
We'll start right here in my community that's filled with things. Maybe people are having to move. They want to get rid of things quicker, right? Not necessarily give on purpose with purpose to one individual, but they have multiple things that they want to donate. They'll be able to give to a Blessed Supply House. And then people can come. They can buy with no money and get what they have need of. And what I really love and can see is Bless delivering these items in Bless trucks all over the place, delivering items to people, going and helping people. If you need help moving, this is future, this is what I see for this. I mean, can you imagine when a big black Bless truck pulls up to your house, help is there, hope is there, your heart leaps in the inside of you. This is what we see happening as we move on in the future of Bless. And of course, more homes and people throughout the world getting a hold of this tool and not just downloading it, but using it, sharing needs, offering help to where that needs feed meets and blessings feed is overflowing with goodness. That's what we're looking for, is just to get the word out about this powerful gift and to change as many lives as possible. When we set out on this, I love telling this, it was the night before the launch. I was on the phone with my developer and he said this to me. He said, Tara, if we change one life, well, we would have done it. And I just could have cried because he knew my heart. He knew that every bit of blood, sweat, and tears that went into the development of Bless would be just to make a difference in one life. Well, we've already done that many times over, and I feel like we have just begun, if we've even begun yet. I feel like we're still kind of like in the toddler stage of kind of getting this thing going. But you can imagine there'll come a day when Bless will run like wildfire. And it'll get to a point where it can no longer be contained. And we are in a preparation phase for that, getting ready for that moment when we have so many people on the app making a difference in their communities and around the world. So the vision is vast. There's more beyond that, but it's vast.
Wow. Look at that. She acts like she's really only accomplished this much, when all I'm hearing is all of this much. My gosh. Okay. Now I want to go through all these different ways to find you because I want everybody to be able to do that. So let me just grab my notes here because there's like 17 places to find her. Folks, so just to make sure, is it Tara or Tara? Am I pronouncing it? Tara. Okay, so it's Tara, and let me spell her last name. It's Eusebi. And no, I wasn't going to try to say that because it sounds too complicated. The website is www.bless-app.com, and the name Bless mobile app is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And of course, she is on YouTube and LinkedIn. And of course, if you want to find Tara herself, she has a Facebook and an Instagram. And of course, I can't even read my own writing there. And of course, again, the name is Tara, last name Eusebi. And of course, she volunteers for, and that's www.womensinformationnetwork.com. And of course, the app is on Google Play as well as Apple. Any other place that I missed?
No, they can all find me on Bless though. So
oh yeah,
Bless, and you're actually going to hear directly from me. I send every new member a personal message. I reach out to every single one of them. I invite them to my group on Bless, where I offer tips about how to use the app. So you get on Bless, you will find the founder. I am there, active.
That is just so awesome. Now, usually at the end of my radio show, I always do the same sort of thing. So we'll kind of treat this as the radio show platform, which is, first of all, just so you know, this will be archived after the fact. I'll edit it. And then, of course, we'll put it on the magazine issue, which is due to come out at the last week of this month. So I'll get a hold of you and I'll send you the information so that you have access and other people can get it on YouTube as well, as far as that goes. Now, normally when you're on my show, two things happen. That means, for one, I have a surprise for you. Everybody who comes on my show gets a surprise and they don't see it coming. So I'm like, okay. So I would be very honored. This is what I'd like to offer to you. I'm always, always indebted to every guest that comes on my show because they're so much better than I am, I believe, and so much more impressive than I am. And so I find it to be my duty to help them when I can. So what I would like to do, if it's possible with you, is, of course, you're going to be now in the magazine, but I have two events that are coming up, and I would consider it a blessing myself if you would allow me to ask you to put together a nice little video trailer of what you do. And I would like to blast it across advertising after every single film screening I do. I want people to be able to see what you're doing in your mission. So I would
Wow.
love to be able to help spread the word if I can, as far as that goes. So I would love to do that. And of course, I will leave the interview up for an entire year so that people can see this as well. I think what you're doing is very important. And like I said, I think it's my duty to help you as far as that goes. And the last thing I want to say to you before my teenager kills me, because I have to go pick up a child, welcome to mom life. I always get to tell the guests what I think of them. And the bigger the guest, the harder it is. So hopefully this time I won't cry, because usually it's the guest that cries or is without words. This is what I'd like to say to you, Tara. First of all, thank you so much again for your patience. I know this seemed like it was never going to happen. And I pray that I have done right by you and your mission, and that I've made you look good and I've done a proper job. This is what I can say. First of all, I'm sure you never hear enough. What you're doing is a thankless job with many hours, many obligations, and many filled and sometimes unfulfilled needs. So I speak for probably millions around the world when I say thank you so much for the duty and the responsibility and all of your kindness and every moment that you spend doing this. Second of all, I am of the firm belief that angels surround us everywhere. I have an entire home of angels all over my house. It's not very often that I get to interview one. So I feel very blessed that I have an angel in my home today. What I can say to you is that our world is a better place because you continue to push with your passion. I am very, very, very grateful to have met you, to have friended you. And I do hope that at some point in time I can thank you in person, and just know that I will be a huge supporter of you for as long as you need me to be and beyond. And I can't thank you enough just for being here.
I love
That's
it. Oh, Cindy, thank you so much. That's a blessing. I mean, I just feel overloaded. I knew this needed to happen because when it's hard like that, it's one of two. Either it's totally not supposed to happen or it really does
yes.
need to happen. And I felt like this was the latter. So I'm grateful we finally got it to land.
Yes.
For the video that you'd like to share, I actually do have a promo video. It's 2 minutes, 17 seconds. I don't know if that's too long. It's called the Heart of Bless.
That'll be fine.
It's on YouTube, but I can send you the link for it.
Yeah, I would do that.
I think that would work. It actually tells kind of like how the journey began and what Bless is about. So
yeah, that'll be fine. I think that, yeah, I mean, when you're the boss, as you know, you get to pick whatever you want. You get to do whatever you want. So I can run it as long as I want because I'm the boss on that one. So perfect. Right. Please send that over to me, of course, obviously. Please let me know if there's anything else I can do for you, of course. And like I said, get onto your own. Go Google yourself. There's like 80 million interviews that you should be They're all wonderful.
Maybe an easier way to find them because I'm trying to.
No kidding. I have to do the same thing myself too. Sometimes I'm like, did I do that or not? So it's definitely that. But yes, thank you again for everything. I now have to go skedaddle. I've got one teenager up there and another one over there. But again, thank you so much for just taking the time. Anytime, my dear. Have a great afternoon.
All right. You too.
Thank you, dear. Bye.